Hey everybody, I'm Joe with Joe's Phenomenal and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be doing our full review on the Ninja Foodi Power Blender Processor System. Now that we've had a few weeks to play with this thing, we're finally ready to give you guys a full review. So let's get into this. A few weeks ago, we picked this up at Costco and did a full unboxing video for you, which we have linked above. But at the time, we had just gotten it, so we weren't able to give you a review. Just to give you a quick refresher, this variant is different from the normal retail version of it. You've got the Costco version, which we have here, and then you have the version that everybody else has, which is pretty much Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, Walmart, wherever else you want to pick it up at.
Tell him, Ray.
Teamwork sucks. I see.
The two variants are very similar, except the normal retail versions have a 1400 watt motor. This has a 1200 watt. And the Smoothie Bowl, which is this little cute attachment here, this is a little bit larger with the Costco version than it is with the normal retail version. The only difference between the two variants is that the Costco version is a little bit cheaper as well. We chose the Costco version for a few different reasons. Number one, the cost, obviously, because it's quite a bit cheaper at Costco. Number two, the power difference is very, very minimal. And number three, this smoothie bowl maker here, with this attachment here, we really like the idea of that. It's very novel. And the one you get at Costco is bigger. So it's just one of those things where if you feel like the one that you get normally isn't going to be big enough, you should get the one with the larger one.
That's what she said.
So you're not having to go over to Ninja's website and purchasing another cup. The functionality of the two units is almost identical. So you can actually take this review and you can apply it to any one of these systems regardless. They're all going to work about the same way. I really doubt the 200 watt difference is really going to make a difference that much in preparation of your food, which is also another reason we weren't really sweating the difference too much. With all that being said, let's get into our review. First, what you get. You've got a 72 ounce pitcher here. It's plastic, but it's dishwasher safe. Just going by my previous experience with plastic stuff going into the dishwasher, I'd recommend hand washing it anyway. Otherwise, this is going to start clouding up on you. I've had previous Ninja blenders before and they have done that, so better just to hand wash it and just be done with it. The blender comes with two blades. You've got your regular blade here, which is basically three sets of blades here.
That's him! That's him! Get him!
Very sharp, by the way. And then you also got a dual-bladed dough blade. This is for if you're going to be using this for processing, for making bread and stuff like that. I personally probably wouldn't use it for that. I've used these in the past to do that and it does work fine, but it is better in a dedicated food processor, just to let you know. This can handle light processing duties, but obviously if you're dicing and slicing and that kind of stuff, you probably want a dedicated machine for that. I like the three-blade design. I owned a Vitamix before we owned our Ninja before this one, and this was actually a replacement for our 8-year-old Ninja blender that we had. This tri-blade design on this thing is really, really great. Just with our past experience, nothing gets caught in your blender. You never have to stop it and stir stuff. It's extremely powerful. It creates a lot of pressure on the inside, so you never really run into that. As far as blending ability, it really just performs just as well, if not better than any blender I've ever used in the past. The fact that these things are priced so low kind of makes it a no-brainer. I mean, do you want to spend 130, 140 bucks on a Ninja system, or do you want to spend $400 or $500 on a Vitamix or a Blendtec even? Both of those things set you back a pretty penny. And as far as usability goes, I'm not so sure they're very different. In fact, when I got my first Ninja, it was coming off of just using a Vitamix before, which got left behind. And I didn't really want to spend all that money again, so I just got a Ninja and I was very, very pleasantly surprised. And I've used one ever since. And that's been the better part of a decade now that I've been pretty loyal to Ninja as far as blenders go. Now, what sets this apart from just a regular blender are the extra attachments that you get. First, you get a smoothie bowl maker. And this is actually kind of a new attachment. There's another blade that actually screws right onto this, and these are basically almost like single serving cups, except this is pretty big. It's about 24 ounces or so. And on this, you basically put everything in here, you screw this on, and this goes on the blender right here. Just on there. And then you have a whole nother set of buttons you can use for it. You can use all the regular blending on there. There's pulsing, there's a whole bunch of other things too. The thing about this smoothie bowl maker is, you know when you blend something in a cup like this and you've got too much ice or something in there and everything gets stuck right up here at the top, and you end up having to blend and then taking it off and taking the top off and then taking a spoon and swirling it around in there trying to get everything to move around, and then you blend it again. Well, with this, you don't do that. You blend and you turn this in the opposite direction while you're blending, and this will break up everything that's sitting up here in the top. So instead of having chunks of stuff that don't get blended up on the top here, this is simple enough just to push it around and it'll get sucked down into the blades and then you're good. In addition to this attachment, you have what they're calling a nutrient extractor cup. Basically, it's the go cup. You're gonna make a smoothie, you can just make it, put all your stuff in here, put it on, blend, take it back off again, and then you got these two lids. You got one that's basically just like a storage lid where you put this on there, you throw that in the fridge, and it's not going to get any air in there. Or you can even use the top here that's got a spout on it, so you can take your smoothie and just bring it with you and drink it. Really convenient, especially if you're just making like a protein shake or something for yourself, because you can blend it, throw it in the car, get going. You're not worried about cleaning up a 72-ounce pitcher for making one smoothie. So this is something I've always really liked about Ninja, and they were really the first company that was really doing these things along with these. Nowadays, most of the big companies do make an option for this, but Ninja was right there at the beginning, and it's why I like them first, and I think that they're still ahead of the game in a lot of ways. Okay, now we can go through the controls on the blender. On the left side, basically you have your power button. You've got another button that says IQ and manual. Basically IQ is pre-programmed stuff in there. If you have that active, then you can use the dial to turn up and down, and you can go between making smoothies or bowls or spreads or chopping things or making dough and stuff like that. Where if you have it set on the IQ, you put it on one of those, get your stuff in there and start, it'll automatically start, it'll put pauses and stuff in the blending, it'll change the speed, it'll do a lot of stuff on its own, and it'll run down a timer as well. So it'll do everything it needs to do for the most part without you having to do anything other than pressing the power button. Now, if you don't like that, you can just set it on manual mode with that other button. You can just hit the pulse button and then you can get little short splurts. And if you leave it in manual mode and start it, instead of the timer showing up on the left side, that'll become a speed indicator. So you start it, you dial it up to go faster, and you dial it down to go slower. By the way, if this is your first time here and you want to learn some cool new recipes, get some kitchen tips and tricks and all sorts of other kitchen related things, then start now by subscribing to the channel and hitting the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Cleaning on these things has always been really easy. Basically, the bucket comes off. This is basically just sitting in here, and I'm going to go ahead and give you a quick look. That's basically all you get right there. And you get a little brush that comes along with the blender. Then I'll go underneath here, same deal. The way it fits together is pretty ingenious. And it makes it really easy to clean. As far as cleaning the inside of the blender, you can use a hack that you do really with any blender that a lot of people don't know. Just take some warm water, fill your pitcher halfway up, put a little squirt of dish soap in there, and then blend it for 30 seconds. And that'll get just about all the food particles stuck to it on the inside out. And then once you do that, just rinse it out, give it a quick dry, and you're good. Well, now that we've gone through the features and function, the real question is, how good is this blender? Like I said before, we were Ninja owners before, And really the only reason we replaced the old blender is, number one, it was looking old and crusty because we've had it for so long. And number two, I happened to be in Costco and I saw the deal. So I researched it a little bit, found out what the difference is between the Costco version and everybody else. Because if you shop at Costco, you know that they always give you a little extra perks somehow, and the price is usually a little bit less, or in this case, a lot less. My old blender was 1,000 watt and I had absolutely no problem ever with it. So this being 1,200, I really wasn't going to worry about the difference between 1,400 watts and 1,200 watts. Even the Smoothie Maker cup being a little bit bigger, that's really great, and it's a feature that I'm happy to use, which we have used actually already. At the end of the day, the price difference is a pretty big deal.
More money, more money, more money.
So as far as power goes, plenty. We've used this quite a bit. No problems with power. There's power to spare. Wonderful. The attachments, this thing right here, I use this every single day for making protein shakes and getting on the go, or at the end of the day or whatever when I get home from training or whatnot. So that's a major deal. This thing, like I said before, I'm going to use a dedicated food processor, so that doesn't really matter too much for me. The little storage top, probably haven't really used that yet at all. Obviously, the little blender thing here. This works amazingly well. It works really, really well. Nothing gets stuck in these little pods. And this thing, I didn't think that it was going to be that great, like it was going to be gimmicky. But you know, we did an acai bowl. Well, this actually worked fantastic. Kudos to Ninja on that one. Now, other than that, the price. This was $129 at Costco. Retail, I think the other version is, you can find them for $169 to $200, someplace around there. Even at that price, I think they're well worth them. If you're out shopping for a blender, to me, there would be no reason for you to not get the Ninja Foodi Power Blender, especially over the normal Ninja Professional blender. The Ninja Pro blender, exact same thing. Good blender, costs a little bit less than this thing, but this thing has all this other stuff along with it too. There'd be no reason for you to save 20, 30 bucks and get just a blender over this. This is really an excellent unit, and we'd wholeheartedly recommend it. It's a great product from a great company. What more could you really ask for? So at this point, all you really got to do is obviously wait until the end of this video, and then get in the car, head on down to Costco or go to their website and get this blender, because it is a great deal and you got to get them before they're out, because as you know, Costco runs out of stuff and sometimes you don't see it again for quite a while. Another option is you can go on to Amazon or something like that and get it delivered to your house, albeit it will be the different version, but that is a little bit more powerful, and sometimes they got really great deals on them. If you look down in the description area of the video, I do have an Amazon link down there if you want to check it out that way. Have you owned a Ninja blender in the past or been thinking about getting one? Well, leave us a note here in the comments and let us know what you think. If you have any questions about it that you can't find answers to, just let me know and I'll see if I can research it and find that out for you. That being said, we're so glad you took time out of your day to watch this video, and hope to see you again really soon. Have a phenomenal day. Take it easy.